You know who didn't have as fun a day yesterday? You think Kevin Spacey's holding up okay?
You know, I think he's really handling everything well.
You think so?
Sure. He makes the video first about being the president, which is a character who's not really him.
Let me be frank. Did you miss me?
And then he's on his way home and he speeds. First of all, who the fuck was that? Was that a paparazzi that took the video, like a TMZ guy?
Oh,
or was it
yeah.
just a fan?
No,
I think somebody who was following him. Probably.
I believe paparazzi. Okay. Yeah.
Because if that was just a fan, a paparazzi you kind of get because that's what they do. But there's a video of him on, like, I guess, the mass board in D.C. He got pulled over speeding.
Was it all the way back in D.C.?
It was in D.C.
That means they followed him all the way from...
Maybe, yeah.
Because where was he? Where was the court case?
Massachusetts.
I thought it was like...
Nantucket.
Yeah, Nantucket.
Oh,
yeah.
sorry. Okay, and then he was staying in Baltimore, probably driving back through wherever he was going through D.C.
Yeah, I assume, well, you have to fly into Nantucket. So he probably,
he flew, okay.
Yeah, because wherever it was, you can only get there by ferry or plane. So he had a private jet, and he did his court case, and then he was whisked away to the airport.
And they followed him after he got out of the
I
airport.
assume he flew into what, BWI?
Maybe, and he was probably going D.C., right around D.C. Got pulled
Travis
over.
bragging about his airport knowledge.
Well, I was wondering if he
very popular airport.
You know what it is? I think that he's got all this money, but like he's probably not making any money unless he's still making back on productions he's done. Like he's probably burning through a shitload.
I'm sure royalties don't stop.
No, they don't. But I mean, how many royalties are you making?
Right, and he's probably spending
on legal fees
a lot. Yeah, he's probably spending at an increased rate, especially since he's not leaving the house. You know what I mean? You got to keep just maintaining your lifestyle.
By the way, I think this judge stinks.
Why?
Because I think the judge is making it a fucking media circus. The fact that he's letting a camera in the courtroom, point right at Kevin Spacey. It's like, I get it. It's a trial or it's an arraignment. But why do we have to have a fucking camera in there live on CNN? For what?
The judge is probably trying to make it hurt a little bit.
They also get starstruck. These guys also like when they have a big celebrity. And where's it, Nantucket? Mm-hmm. How many fucking movie icons do they get in their courtroom? None.
Yeah, that's what they were saying, that the circus around the Nantucket courthouse was just insane. Lines and lines of people.
Yeah.
You could see everybody lined up everybody crammed into the courtroom to watch the case because they've never had anything like this out there.
If there's more to it than I read an account of it, and I'm shocked that he's being charged with assault. Because of what I read. Like, he meets this guy in a bar, and the guy's an 18-year-old busboy. He works there. The guy's mother is a news personality, so I imagine that she's very connected and she's powerful, and she's probably very pissed off. Mm-hmm. And I guess this kid felt like he's starstruck. He wants to meet Spacey, wants to hang out with him. Spacey wants to fuck him.
You think so? Do you think it was a sexual thing?
You know, maybe not at first. Maybe it started out as, I'd love to see you act.
Like a friendship.
Sure.
Yeah.
And then maybe they were drinking together. And I guess Spacey was putting his hands down the guy's pants. But the guy wasn't... First of all, and then I heard the guy told him he was 23. This is what I read. Mm-hmm. So the Spacey might have believed this guy was of age. And he might have believed that this guy was enjoying it. The guy stood around because he was starstruck. And it's like, okay, I understand you're starstruck, but does he know that you're not enjoying this contact? How does he know you're just starstruck?
Yeah, but that's literally what the court case would be about. Like, the fact that he was charged with assault, if somebody says he grabbed my dick, what are you going to not charge him and say, like, wow, you were starstruck?
No. But if you're having an interaction with somebody and it's getting flirty and you're touching their stomach or they're like whatever, and then you're slowly moving your hand down and you're in public and they're just kind of standing there not saying anything, you might think they're giving you consent. They might just be, I don't want to upset this guy because it's Kevin Spacey. He might think he's getting consent. Again, I don't know, but I was surprised when I read what I read. I'm
not surprised that he was charged.
After I read what I read, I was surprised that that's considered an assault.
Yeah, I wouldn't be. I mean, it read like an assault, but it also read like something that in court he could be found not guilty for. Like being charged with something and being found guilty for something are two different things.
Assault, if you're in, and again, I don't know what their interaction was, but there's interactions you have with people where you both know what's happening, but you can't prove it in court. It's almost like if you're on a subway and you're sitting across from a guy and he tilts his head and looks at you. You can't prove in court that guy is menacing you in any way, but you and that guy both understand the interaction you're having. Sometimes there's hard things to put. It's hard to put words in.
But if he goes over and grabs your dick and he was like, "Well, you were looking right at me. You were looking at me in the eyes."
Well, yeah, if it was like that blatant. But if I was talking to him for an hour and then I lied about my age and we were drinking together and maybe flirting together, and then he starts rubbing my stomach and I don't move, and then his hand slowly goes down and I don't say anything, and then he just rubs the tip of my dick and I don't say anything. I can't yell. How did he not know?
Did he just rub the tip or did he grab?
He probably started with the tip. That's my guess.
Thinking just the tip.
I'm just going by what I read. The statement surprised me. I remember reading it and going, "Oh, this is not what I thought it was." I'm surprised they're charging him when the guy's admitting that he was voluntarily hanging out with him, and it lasted for a few minutes. Like, if the guy is touching your dick in a bar and you don't want him to touch your dick in a bar, tell him to stop touching your fucking dick.
Don't touch my dick.
Dude, I understand you might be starstruck, but come on. If he's touching your dick in a bar, standing there, and you're allowing it around in a group of people, then he probably thinks he has consent.
Yeah. Well,
isn't consent to say yes or no? Like, if you're both standing there drinking, isn't consent yes or no?
Well, it depends if he's drunk, right?
I guess, yeah.
I mean, if he's drunk, he couldn't properly give consent, theoretically, I think, by the law.
More if they're both drinking. I mean, again, he's standing there. Spacey might think he's the right age. I mean, it's we'll see what happens. I just remember being surprised when I read that it wasn't what I thought it would be.
You can't not charge somebody because there's benefit of a doubt. Like, you could, in court, be like, well, you haven't proven that there was an assault here, right? Court is where you would have to prove that the assault actually happened.
Yeah, I was when I read the way it happened, I was surprised. Carolyn in Mass.
Let's go to Carolyn.
Hi, how are you guys?
Hi, Carolyn.
Good. I'm listening this morning, and I'm kind of upset because, honestly,
Carolyn, I hate to hear that.
Why are you?
He was a kid.
Yes, he was 18, but I believe he told Spacey he was 23. And he was in the bar that he worked in. He was drinking.
Yes.
So Kevin, again,
tell me what kid doesn't do that.
No. I'm not saying that kids don't do that, and I'm not saying Spacey didn't do this. I'm just telling you when I read what I read. If Kevin Spacey is in a bar that this guy works at, and this guy says I'm 21 or 23, and the guy is drinking, Spacey would reasonably assume the guy was 23.
Well,
that's the truth,
right?
Still doesn't give you the right to grab anybody
it doesn't.
That you want.
That's two separate things.
They're two separate things.
The underage or the assault thing. Like, I think that the underage thing that Kevin Spacey, if it's true, certainly has an argument. If the guy was lying about his age, there's no way that Kevin Spacey should assume that he was under 21 if the guy goes in 23. Right. But the dick grabbing thing.
Give you, but the assault portion of it, nobody has the right to put their hands on anybody else.
But who's saying? Hold on. Who's saying that someone has the right to grab your dick? No one is saying that.
No, you're not saying that.
How are you hearing that? How are you hearing that?
That at one point I heard you guys say, he didn't even do anything about it.
Well, if two people are standing there talking, if two guys are standing there talking. And if I don't know if they were flirting or if they weren't flirting, or if Spacey was flirting and this guy wasn't flirting back and he thought that he was. But if someone at a bar, if two men are standing there and one is rubbing the other guy and his hand moves down to his crotch and the other guy doesn't say, don't do that, and he thinks that there's a connection, where's the line between, hey, we're actually having some kind of a sensual interaction, we go out to smoke together, we come back in, and when does it become assault? I don't know.
Grabbing dicks in bars is pretty forward.
It is. We all act like We all act like we've never flirted publicly before, or we've never touched somebody publicly before.
I've never fingered a girl publicly.
Right, but
no, you haven't. But have you ever had your hand on somebody?
You,
all right.
No, Carol, let her stay.
Okay.
What's that?
When someone touches you, even if you're uncomfortable, you don't necessarily say anything because you're kind of frozen and you're in shock and disbelief that it's happening.
It's fair.
Now. It is fair, but it's also fair
that from experience.
Okay, now were you in a public place when this happened in a bar?
No.
Okay, so what I'm saying is, how does a person doing it know that the person they're doing it to is feeling, like you just said, frozen and not enjoying it? And I don't mean in a molesting situation.
No, I understand what you're saying there. However, he was the adult.
Okay, thank you, Carolyn.
Carolyn, Are you? No. Which one was I with?
Okay,
because I know what you mean, but you're. How does a person know in that situation? Again, unless there's a signal, the kid said, he goes, "Well, stop it." But if he doesn't know that this guy's under, he thinks that there's just two people saying they're drinking, and the guy's not stopping him, So he thinks that he has consent. How does he know that the other person's just uncomfortable? Like I'm saying, how does a person know?
No, I hear you. I get that. I'm just speaking from my own experience. None of it was okay. It wasn't okay for the kid to lie and say that he was 23. It wasn't okay for Spacey to touch him. I mean, nobody wins in this scenario. No, the bottom line.
Yeah, and look, Spacey probably has a history of doing this. I'm only telling you, when I read the account, I was surprised when I read what actually happened.
Thank you, Carolyn.
I was surprised. I thought it would be more blatant than that. I didn't realize it was in a very public place, and that they had been talking for a while. And I thought it would be different than it was.
I think when you're around somebody that has a certain, I don't know if adoration is the word, but it would certainly be fitting. When you're a celebrity, right, and you're hanging out at like a little bar, and you got some young guy, not underage necessarily in your mind, but some young guy that's like impressed by you and blah, blah, blah. It's kind of on you to make sure if you're going to go for the dick grab, you have pretty express permission, or you're in a bedroom, or you're something like that's happened. Because otherwise, people could, I mean, the idea that he was locked in or in shock or blah, 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 that's perfectly defensible. You could you could absolutely say, I was scared, I was in shock,
but that doesn't mean, but how does he know that? Like, do you understand? Like, how does he know that?
Well, it's his responsibility to know that that
and
could
it's the other guy's responsibility as an adult to say, stop, don't do that.
But he's not an adult.
Well, he didn't know that. And he's only 18. He's old and he's a legal adult. But in that situation, he wasn't. But he didn't know that.
But you don't think it's Kevin Spacey has some responsibility to be like, you know what? People might not like if I grab their dick in public, and they may end up in shock over this. And I'm clearly the one with the power here.
No. I don't think that's how normal people think.
He's not a normal person.
What? The law is different for him because he's a celebrity?
Well, the law is the law. If you grab somebody's dick in public and they don't say, hey, grab my dick.
But if two people, and again, I don't know if they were having this interaction. Mm-hmm. I don't know what it was. But if two people are engaged in something, and you're touching somebody, whatever you're doing, and you lean down and your hand is slowly moving down, and they're not stopping you, you think they're giving you consent because they're not stopping you, because you figure they would just tell you not to do that if they didn't like it.
Yeah, unless you've...
Like when you're kissing a girl, I mean, and you're rubbing her stomach or you're rubbing her hips, you don't just usually grab her breast or grab her ass. Normally, you start with the stomach and you move your way up. What do you say? I'm moving my hand up now. No, she knows where you're going. And believe me, I've had plenty of women move my hand away or just pull back a little bit. They let you know. So a lot of times you assume somebody is going to let you know something. And again, I'm only commenting on what I read, and I was surprised. It didn't strike me as he just walked over and grabbed this guy's dick. That's what I first thought happened.
Right.
I'm like, what, is he crazy? But then I read what I read, and I was like, oh, this seems like he really didn't know this other guy didn't want it.
I'm not even saying he's guilty or not guilty. I'm more playing devil's advocate for the fact that, like, when you're Kevin Spacey, you got to know that if you're going to grab a young man's dick and you've got a history of doing stuff like this, there's something predatory about it.
You don't think that way. He doesn't think I'm Kevin Spacey. I'm a predator. He thinks I'm Kevin Spacey. I can fuck who I want. That's who it is when you're not looking at it like it's predatory. If a guy is allowing you to do something and not telling you not to do it, you might think that guy likes that.
But there is something predatory about going, I'm Kevin Spacey, so I can fuck who I want.
Then every celebrity that's ever fucked anybody is predatory.
Grab him by the pussy.
Come on. Yeah.
But then
every
that
celebrity...
was a problem. Are you advocating for, like...
It wasn't illegal
So
issue.
every celebrity...
Because there wasn't an actual person saying, yeah, he grabbed me by the pussy.
But
he just said it.
Every celebrity who's ever gotten laid is a predator because they... Come on, that's just silly.
No, I would say that every
great-looking person who fucks more people than ugly people then must be a predator because they go out and go, hey, I'm good-looking, fuck me. Do you know what I mean? It's like anybody in a position to get laid who wants to get laid does. Or most people do.
Yeah, but when you're a celebrity and you're grabbing dicks at the bar, before you even leave the bar, there's a strong possibility that can come back and bite you in the ass.
It depends, I guess, how you're doing it. I mean, if you're just grabbing someone's dick, sure. If he just grabbed this guy's dick, then it's an assault. Mm-hmm. If he literally just reached out and grabbed the dick, then it's an assault. But playing devil's advocate doesn't. I mean, that doesn't mean that doesn't mean he's guilty of assault.
No, but he didn't. Nobody said he's guilty. I mean, he's being charged with assault.
I was surprised when I read that he was charged. If you read, can you bring up the details? Because I remember reading it and going, oh, that's not what I thought it was.
Let's go to, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of people now. I mean, Tom in Massachusetts is right. What's up, Tom?
Hey, how you doing, man? I'm all fired up. That woman that was calling earlier, she's so convoluted with the female bullshit. First of all, you have two adults. When you're 18, you're an adult.
That's true.
You can't say, oh, this person's 20 years older, so that person's the adult. Let's take away that he's a celebrity. You have two adults, okay? You can't put in, oh, well, he was shell-shocked. He didn't know what to do. He was in public. Forget that. He was an adult. He was drinking in a bar. That's like another issue, first of all. What was he doing there? And that woman's right. Yeah, all kids are going to do that. However, you still have, he was an adult. So let's just stop with all the other bullshit that, oh, this is a little kid and Spacey should have known what he was doing. No. And, Jim's right. You guys are right. This happens every single day. What if the roles will reverse between a man and a woman? Is anyone going to say to the woman, oh, she's an adult, she should have known better? Absolutely not. They're going to put the bullshit on the guy. So there are two adults. They were in public space. Something happened. Whether or not the kid was shocked or not, handle it from there.
If the guy, if Spacey just grabbed him, if they were just talking and he grabbed his dick, then that's
nice to meet you.
Yeah,
I shake dicks, not hands.
Or if they were just talking,
right.
If they were just talking and he reached down and grabbed his dick, that's different. Or if the kid indicated he didn't want him to do it, hey, well, stop that, and he kept doing it, that's assault. Those are both different things. But when I read this account of it, it wasn't that. It was one of those things where I could see why he would think the other guy didn't mind. I think he was trying to get this dude to go back to his room.
Right.
The guy knew this guy wants to fuck me. He's trying to get him to go back to his room. He kept saying nah, I don't really want to. He was hitting on him. And the guy kept coming around him. So he may think hey, I'm wearing him down. He's going to fuck me. That's not predatory. That's just a guy just trying to get laid. He thinks this guy is older.
So it was one of those things. Thank you, Tom.
And I'm not saying this, again, I keep reiterating, I'm not saying this is a fact. I only read one little piece of it. So they may come out and say something different.
It was one of those things where at first he was saying, no, I don't want to go back to the room with you. But because he wasn't leaving, there was this implied thing where he's enjoying himself.
It was the young man's.
Is that what you're saying?
I don't know. By reporting the sexual assault, my client is determined. Can we just scroll a little bit and see if you can find that, Troy? Because there was something where I forget what it was that I read.
Was there something spelled out about it?
Yes, they were saying that they just gave more details about it.
Let's go to Rachel in North Carolina. What's up, Rachel?
Hey guys.
Hey.
Hi, Rachel.
You know what often helps in a court case is a reenactment. I'm having trouble picturing how exactly you just go from grabbing someone's dick. So I was wondering, could maybe Rob and Shitloaf reenact this, and you guys could video it for us and put it out there? I'm just having a hard time picturing it.
Just for the legal process, you mean, Rachel?
Just for the legal process,
right? For the court case, I think it's only fair to do that.
Right. We make an educational tool. I don't think it's a terrible idea.
No, and I kind of feel like Rob and Shitloaf, they're too similar in age. We'd probably need an older person, somebody maybe more aggressive.
With tattoos?
Denny?
No, not yet. Thank you, Jim.
Okay. You mean older.
Yeah.
You mean somebody with the...
a celebrity.
A salt and peppered hair celebrity.
Yeah, somebody who knows what it's like to get what he wants because he's a celebrity.
Maybe walking around trying to give away free boxing posters this morning while we're all trying to work. That type of person.
It's unbelievable how little he has to do so early in the morning.
Let's go to Tony in Cleveland. What's up, Tony?
Sammy!
Hey, bud.
What's going on, babe?
Okay.
Hey, yeah, you're welcome.
Okay.
Hey, listen. The thing that's missing here is enthusiastic consent.
Mm-hmm.
If this kid's telling you no, 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 and you think maybe he wants to come up to your room with you, you continue flirting.
Mm-hmm.
You touch him on the belly? Sure. A little intimate, maybe he's okay with it. But to slide your hand down his pants without him specifically giving you the go-ahead, hey, maybe I'm getting into this, maybe I do want to come up to the apartment. It's just, if you don't have somebody legit trying to push it and accepting and moving on, you don't know.
Yeah, I don't know how that happened. To be truthful, I don't know how that happened. If there was enthusiastic consent or not, or I don't know.
I mean, it sounds like everything that I've read on both sides I didn't read into enthusiastic consent. I read into where Kevin Spacey was like, okay, let me try this move. But trying a move and having enthusiastic consent, as Tony and Cleveland so eloquently put it, are two different things.
Yeah, I don't know. When they said it went on for a while and the guy just stood there. Like when they said he was standing there. If they said he grabbed his dick and he pulled back and went, "What are you doing?" I wouldn't even be saying this. But they were saying that he kind of hung out there with him, and it was like for a few minutes.
Well, he might have been like, Kaiser Soze's hands on my dick.
Maybe probably thought that.
You probably did, right?
But do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, then you probably think that the guy is enjoying it.
Or you're like, I'm Kaiser Soze and my hand's on your dick right now.
Maybe you say that, yeah.
Or he goes like this. He goes like, oh, did you pretend you weren't going to like this? Are you shifting into Frank Underwood again right now, Kevin? Please, you got to knock that off. Rob in West Virginia.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Hey, Rob.
Hey, it was about 12 years ago. I was 17 years old. I worked at a restaurant as a host, and part of our duties there were to once an hour go into the bathroom and wipe down the counters and check the soap and shit like that. So I went in there, and one of the regulars came in, and he was kind of small talking with me or whatever, and I was talking to him, no big deal, but then he pressed his hand on the door, and he told me that I needed to make out with him.
Ugh,
nice.
Like, no, I'm not going to do that. I don't go that way. And he kept pursuing it, and I flat out told him, if you don't move, I'm going to punch you in the face, and I'm going to call the cops. It's as easy as that. I don't understand.
Wow.
Oh, you said that to, I understand. You said that to the regular. Okay.
Yeah, but you also probably weren't trying to like... There's something about... Thank you, Rob, because I totally get it, right? You're right. But there's also that thing where and I was about to say little kids, and I'm wrong.
Yeah.
But there's also the thing where young people, especially, you like to hang out with celebrities. You know what I mean? You're not gonna dismiss Kevin Spacey as fast as you would the regular who's hanging out in the bathroom. That's fair, right?
Maybe in human interaction you wouldn't, but again, it doesn't mean that one guy should know differently than the other guy should know. I mean, both times you're just two people interacting.
Look, for me, I don't think Kevin Spacey or that regular could get their hands on my dick. I would probably stop them first. However, I think Kevin Spacey could probably get his hands on my dick easier than the regular at the bar. Although I'm a sleight of frame man, so if it broke down to fisticuffs, both could probably get their hands on my dick. What am I going to do?
You can go up a little. I'm not sure what. No, the other way. Sorry. Yeah, I don't know what this guy's interaction was like with him right before that.
You talking about the 18-year-old posing as a 23-year-old?
Yeah, Spacey may have just been used to like
grabbing dicks.
Kind of, yeah. He may have been used to talking a little bit, flirting, saying things that are inappropriate, somebody not really reacting negatively because he is who he is, and then thinking that they were fine with it and just rubbing their dick and they don't say anything. Like, he may have literally gotten to that point in his life. He seems to like straight guys.
Kevin Spacey?
Which is, yeah, it's like...
It's a fetish, I guess.
Yeah, it is.
I guess so, right?
Yeah.
You've been propositioned before, Troy?
I have, yeah.
Are people disappointed when they find... Well, never mind.
Well, it's definitely like a challenge for them. And they look at it as like sometimes.
Right.
They look at it as like a badge of honor of like you could.
Has anybody ever been successful in their challenge with you?
They have not.
Okay, I was just asking.
Yeah, so I don't know what this guy's interaction. This guy may have been acting like he didn't want it and maybe he kept doing it. I don't know. But whatever it was I read and I can't find it, I was surprised to read it.
I think you have to. Yeah, I think it breaks down to not, did he act like he didn't want it? Did he act like he did want it? And that's when you get into conversations like you just had. Well, hanging out and not leaving and blah, blah, blah kind of acts like you do. Like, I think that's what the conversation's going to be.
Because they were standing there in a group in a bar and it went on for a little while and the guy was allowing it to go on. So, like, did Kevin Spacey know this guy is absolutely hating this? Or are they both drunk and he's thinking this guy is totally fine with this and is kind of into me? Like, is he deluded and thinks this guy likes him?
And how do you ever prove it? It's one person's word against another.
Well, I think the guy's girlfriend, because Spacey's attorney is they're asking for the guy's texts with his girlfriend back and forth. Because they're saying that the guy hung out because he wanted a picture with Kevin Spacey. Like, I get that.
Yeah, you can't not get that, right?
Right. But how does he know that this guy's just hanging out for a photo? Maybe he did, but how does he know? How do you know this guy doesn't like me? He's just hanging out for a photo.
Well, but then it's just a risky scenario to go to level 9 to find out if he's just hanging out for a photo. Like, you could go to level 3.
That might be level 3 for him.
That's true.
Level 9 might. Who the fuck knows what level 5 or 9? Level 9 might be we go fuck in the bathroom. I don't know what level 9 is for Kevin Spacey.
Right. Yeah, wouldn't that be funny if, like, well, let's go to level 7 and it's stripping nude and fucking in the bathroom?
He seems to have a lot of his trouble in bars, though. Like Spacey, he seems to like to drink.
Yeah.
And then his judgment gets fucked up, and he might misread a lot of people.
You think he got drunk and pretended he was Francis Underwood and made a YouTube video?
I wonder if he was drunk when he did that.
I don't know, but I don't think so, because there's so many steps you'd have to take, from writing to editing to posting to everything. Post-production.
You see this right here?
Oh, sorry.
Here it is. Sorry.
Okay.
The complaint. Can you go up a little?
Yep.
Show the other way, Troy. The other way, under the picture. Thanks. The 18-year-old who said actor Kevin Spacey groped him at a Nantucket bar took the Snapchat video of the alleged assault. Okay. The complaint from Massachusetts details the incident. The busboy, who was 18 at the time, told Spacey he was 23 and studying business at Wake Forest University, according to the complaint. That night, Spacey bought him a number of alcoholic drinks, bragged to him about the size of his penis, and tried to get the busboy to go back to his house afterwards, the accuser told the police. Later, as the two stood near the piano player in a bar, Spacey reached over and began to rub the busboy's thigh. The complaint states. Spacey then unzipped the accuser's pants and rubbed his penis both in and out of his pants for about 3 minutes, he told police. The busboy did not know what to do.
Spacey told police, or the busboy told police?
Okay. I don't believe Spacey mentioned that. The busboy did not know what to do and did not want to get in trouble at work for drinking, particularly because he was under the legal drinking age. He said he tried to shift away with his body and move Spacey's hands away with... Oh, okay. But Spacey kept reaching down his pants. During this time, he was texting with his girlfriend, who did not believe what he was telling her. So I didn't read the part about them moving the hands away.
Was he just sitting there texting the guy from Seven's hands are in my pants?
But
right
do you understand
now?
when you're rubbing somebody's thigh?
But if they're moving away, you know if they're moving away.
I mean, maybe he was. Again,
if he says he was, I mean, I'm not saying that means Kevin Spacey's guilty, but it means he says he was, right?
Yeah. And then he reaches up and unzips his fly, and it goes on for 3 minutes.
How trying to swing that thing away from him?
How do you not at one point? And this is not victim blame. How do you not just go excuse yourself when you're in a bar in that situation? That's the part I have a hard time with. 3
minutes is a long
3 minutes in a public place. In a public place. Again, if you're fucking 14 years old and you're Anthony Rapp and you're in a hotel room or wherever you are, like, there's a difference between being in a very, very isolated place where you're scared and being in a place where you're surrounded in a piano bar and a guy is rubbing your thigh after telling you how big his dick is and he's hitting on you and you're starstruck. There's a different interaction you're having with that person, and you may just be very uncomfortable and scared, but the other guy may not know you're uncomfortable and scared.
The busboy also may have said 3 minutes to thinking that he was making Kevin Spacey look worse, not realizing that he was making himself look.
But do you understand?
Worse?
Yeah.
Right. Like it may not.
Yeah.
It's that's not to say it's a true 3 minutes.
I'm going to say it was a long time. But
right.
That actually does not work in your favor.
Because realistically, there's no way it was 3 minutes. Like that's a hand job.
No. But they might have. He might.
Night for you.
It might have been the.
Oh my god, yeah.
It might have been,
if it's hand right to dick. Like when I say 7 minutes, we're getting hand to dick by like minute 2 or 3 or something. If we're from hand to dick to end, 3 minutes would probably be about good for me.
But it may not.
But not Kevin Spacey's hand.
It may not have been 3 minutes on his dick. It may have been a thigh rub, and then the hand in, and then again, I don't know how it went down, and I don't know how.
What Sam's saying is true. Like that doesn't make the teen's case look good, because 3 minutes is a long time to be uncomfortable with something.
Because it's not like he's got a stopwatch. He's drunk, and he's kind of thinking it's probably 3 minutes because he wants to make Kevin Spacey look worse. Not realizing,
look, I don't
he's
think
actually making Kevin Spacey look better, because there's you start to get into
23. Like, what kind of a message is that sending about you? Like, why would you, if you're not interested in anything?
Because he's at the bar, though. He said he doesn't want to get in trouble for drinking.
But he works for Spacey. Might not know that. He might not know the guy's internal.
No. I'm just talking about what the guy's motivation is.
Yeah, but the guy.
Right, but I mean, he's just a busboy. Like, he's allowed to be there. Like, he works there. You don't have to lie to Kevin Spacey when you ask how old you are.
But he may not. And plus, if he's drinking at the place he works at, Spacey may assume that he's available allowed to do that.
And where's the bar in this situation that they know how old he is and they're allowing?
He might have been sneaking
Kevin
drinks.
Spacey to buy him drinks.
Yeah, unless he was.
From what I read, it's like they were just buying him drinks over and over and over again.
They're not trying to get Kevin Spacey mad.
No, I wouldn't want to either. I've seen him.
He chops off ladies' heads when he's mad.
So we'll see what happens with it, but maybe more will come out. Maybe this is just like a very like fucking kind of basic structure.
Yeah.
But just from the basic structure, in a separate interview, the busboy's girlfriend told police he had indeed texted her that Spacey was hitting on him. She confirmed she received a Snapchat video from him showing Spacey touching the front of his pants by his crotch, though she couldn't give any more details on it. Can you scroll just a bit, buddy?
I mean, I don't believe that either.
Well, that ended up being untrue.
But no, in the court case, they're saying it might be a quick photo or something like that.
Yeah, like in the police report, that's what she said, but then like during the investigation, they found out that there is no video.
After several minutes of the alleged groping,
there was not several minutes.
Spacey got up to go to the bathroom, and the busboy left the bar.
The busboy story is full of holes. There's no Snapchat video, so we already know that that's not true.
I don't know. I was saying on CNN yesterday, they were talking about the video in court.
Right, because it's in the police report. Yeah.
But it doesn't actually exist.
But there is no video.
So after several minutes of groping, the Spacey gets up to go to the bathroom. The busboy left the bar. Obviously, the kid was uncomfortable. While on the way home, Spacey texted him, "I think we lost each other," and the busboy didn't respond. So
I'm just saying that the several minutes, we can't look at that and go like, well, several minutes is obviously gospel because the kid's trying to paint a little bit of a narrative, and I don't think he quite knows.
Maybe it got a little more real than he was anticipating.
What he's doing. I think that there's probably a lot of reality in that. Like he was kind of having fun and skirting the line and everything. I think realistically, Kevin Spacey probably rubbed his dick a little bit, and then he got scared and left. Like I don't think there was any several minutes of anything.
It might have, but he might have liked the attention he's getting from Spacey. But then when it became that sexual, he might have been like, "What the fuck?"
Right?
Like he might have known Kevin Spacey's flirting with him, but then he's like, "Fuck it." It's like it'll be a great story. He's hitting on me, and I'm not going to do anything with him. But I believe he was ashamed when he left, and he felt bad because he just left
and went too far.
Yeah.
I mean, he gave him his number. So what was Kevin Spacey thinking if the kid's like, "Oh, here's my phone number"? Obviously, it's like, well, maybe we should meet up at another time. Like, why would you just give some random guy your phone number if you didn't plan on doing anything?
If you're rubbing somebody's thigh, if somebody is as a man, and again, I know you're 18, but you're old enough to go to Afghanistan with a fucking weapon. If your thigh is being rubbed, what's that?
Weapon in your pants.
Sure. If you're having your thigh rubbed, you do have the ability, unless you're so incapacitated or in a very vulnerable situation. But if you're in a public space like that, you do have the ability to say, "Whoa, stop doing that," and stand up and or tell somebody, or to walk away from somebody.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting to find out what actually.
Yeah, what the dynamics were.
A better picture of what actually happened.
Because that does not sound like somebody was being forced to stay someplace.
No, I think there was probably flirtation going back and forth. Kevin Spacey went for the dick hole.
Or he thought the kid was flirting. The kid might not have been flirting with him. He might have just misread the kid not walking away as flirting.
Let's say pleasant vibes going back and forth, right? Conversation happening. It's all going down. Kevin Spacey rubbed his dick a little bit, then went to the bathroom. The kid left, and then probably made it sound like more than it was, thinking that, okay, I'm going to bust Kevin Spacey on this now, not realizing that making it sound like more than it was makes Kevin Spacey seem like he has a little bit more consent than he did.
Yes, John in Boston.
Let's go to John. Hey, bud.
Hey, so I'm gay, and I've had this happen to me in a bar, and if I'm drunk and I'm underage and somebody tries to grab me and I don't want it, I just walk away. I mean, that's a reaction to it. The thing I find very curious about it is if this is going on for a number of minutes and Kevin Spacey's doing this and the kid's standing there and texting while it's happening and not walking away, not pushing a hand away, but actually standing there and texting. That's the part I find very curious.
He's Snapchatting
away to somebody else while it's going on.
And if you're taking a Snapchat video, allegedly, or not taking one. But he said he was taking a Snapchat photo and then you're sending it to your girl. If you're going through all of this...
I mean, it's not true.
But if, again, he's saying, if you're saying that to the police... And she said it to the police.
But I think the reason that he said I sent a Snapchat photo was because they figured it was deleted. Snapchat deletes photos. They didn't realize that the police could figure out if a photo was actually sent.
Okay, but then you're saying that's okay. If that's the reason he lied to the police, then
but why wouldn't you just walk away? I mean, that's the reaction you would have.
That's what I'm saying. And again, the thing you say here is this is a situation where you're able to walk away. And if you're nervous or you're starstruck, again, that's an internal monologue somebody might not be knowing you're having. It's different than when you're in a situation where you're fearful for your safety. And I can't say why he was not fearful for his safety, but I think most of us know that there are situations where you're terrified for your safety and you freeze. I just don't think this was that situation.
I'll tell you this. Kevin Spacey's been locked up in that house for a year. It looks like shit. He hasn't been resting at all. Did you see him yesterday?
He looked
very frazzled.
He did.
He looked very unkempt and not very well rested. His suit was great.
He looked better than he did in that video, though. He looked thinner for some reason.
Like, I thought he
looked, yeah. He looked a little bit better at this video.
Maybe he was wearing a slimming suit.
Possibly.
Time, you know?
Maybe you read all the comments. Like, wow, Spacey got fat.
Did they all say that?
I don't. Probably.
I gotta get. Maybe he got some of that shit frozen off under his chin.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It works, right?
Yeah. That's great.
No, I was looking at him. His hair was all a muss, baggy under the eyes. Maybe just we're used to seeing him with Hollywood stylists and things like that. But it looks like he's been staying up all night, locked away in his house. I mean, he's got to be losing his mind.
This is wearing big on him. But reading those things, he may remember the incident again because he's been through this a lot more than that other dude has. Meaning the interactions in bars. And there's one where they said he showed his dick to some busboy in Britain or something or whatever, and the guy freaked out, so Spacey gave him his $5,000 watch or whatever to make it out. Like,
here, take my watch, forget my dick.
And he's got this stuff all over the place. Like, so he's probably been, like, again, he's in a bar and he's probably losing track of what somebody's. You might lose perspective on another person's reactions when you're that famous and you're used to people just kind of doing what you want them to do, and you're drunk.
Yeah, but that's not allowed.
I'm not saying it's allowed. I'm just saying that's probably why he does it.
Right. Yeah, okay. Did you hear about the guy, the child porn ringleader?
Oh, terrible news. I mean, it finally happened, by the way.
I know, we always talk about like whether jail justice is real or not.
It's all bullshit. Fucking convicts don't do anything. It finally happened. Somebody got jail justice.
Dude, this guy goes to jail in December. He got sentenced to 40 years a month ago. For leading up a child porn ring. Like it was at the center of this thing. And within a month, he's beaten to death in jail. I mean, he probably was a complete asshole once he got there too, but still.
No, he was probably, by the way, let's go to Joe in Connecticut, because I don't know why. I think you guys are wrong about there not being a video.
Okay, let's go to Joe. What's up, bud?
Hey, Joe.
Last night when I was watching the news, they interviewed one of the detectives, the lawyer did, during the testimony. And the detective said he saw the video, but it only showed Spacey touching his shirt, not touching any other part of his body, like his upper shirt, like by his stomach, not down by his crotch.
So when they say there's no video of the dick touch, it's because the video that people have seen doesn't show the dick touch.
Exactly.
There's some sort of a video, but maybe he didn't get the moment he wanted. So it's possible this guy is saying, "Holy shit, Kevin Spacey is fucking rubbing my. Look at this shit." You know, I mean, because if it's something that's terrible,
how are you slick enough to get a video of Kevin Spacey touching your dick, but you can't pull off the photo op? If all you're looking for is a picture with Kevin Spacey,
I know
you can't pull off the photo op, but you got his hands in your pants. I don't know, man.
Yeah.